yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, oh, yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Tyasia Monea, or Golden Curls, and as you probably already know from the title, this video is going to be about my own personal natural hair journey, and I'm also going to end this video with some useful and helpful tips for all of my naturals out there. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so to start, I've been fully natural for 8 months now, and what I mean by when I say fully natural is I have no more straight ends. From my roots to my ends, I'm fully natural. I'm all natural. And I've come a long way, you guys. I've learned so much about my hair, well, natural hair in general, but I also learned so much about my own hair from when I decided to go natural up until now, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be learning more and more as the time goes on. So I'm going to start off with my own personal natural hair journey. Back in November of 2014, I believe, is when I really became introduced to the natural hair life, and that's when I decided to go natural. And I started off in the transitioning stage, one, because I got perms all my life, so I wasn't really going to go into the big chopping stage, let alone I didn't even know the term big chop even existed. So I wasn't just going to cut off my hair, because at the time I don't believe I would feel comfortable even cutting my hair, one, and then two, I don't think I even really even thought of cutting my hair to begin with. So yeah, anyway, I was in the transitioning stage, and I always kept my hair in Bantu knots. That was literally my go-to hairstyle when I became natural, because that was all I knew how to do at the time. And when I did them, they just came out nice and curly, and I had no problem. So that was my go-to hairstyle. But eventually I did learn how to do perm rod sets, even though they never really came out how I pictured or how I wanted them to. I was always walking around looking like someone's grandma, but you know, it was whatever. It was halfway decent, so I just went out and wore the style anyway. So, you know, during this time my hair was growing. I had puffy roots and straight ends, and you guys know, if you were in the transitioning stage once before, those straight ends get pretty annoying. So one day I finally realized, like, this isn't working for me anymore, and it's really not working out for my benefit. The straight ends were annoying, they were in the way, I couldn't do a lot of hairstyles that I wanted to do because of that specific reason, or I would just have these puffy roots and then straight stringy ends, and it was just not a cute look at all. So I decided to get my hair cut. You know, that would solve all of my problems, just cut the permed ends off. So I went to the hair salon and I got my hair cut very short. It was like a bob style almost, and I mean, when I did cut it, all the permed ends weren't necessarily out of my hair, but all my natural growth that I did have was outweighing the permed ends, so it was really like a relief, and I was, you know, able to experiment and do more. And then, like a few months later, so I cut my hair in September of last year, 2015, and then I decided to dye my hair in December of 2015, because I didn't feel like my hair was really growing. Like, I was in this whole natural stage now, and I wanted to see the growth of my hair. I wanted to see it grow. I wanted to see how long it's getting and all that good stuff. So that is basically which led me into where I am now 8 months later. You know, so it's just about patience. Patience is really the key when you're dealing with natural hair. And yeah, that's my story. Okay, so tip number 1 is learn your hair. No one knows your hair better than you do. And what I mean by that is basically learn what your hair likes and dislikes, or what your hair reacts well to and what it doesn't act so well to. Like, you have to practice, you have to experiment different things. For me, it was basically just a trial and error process. I would buy different products to see how my hair would react to it. I would do different hairstyles to see how my hair would come out, and I would use different techniques on my hair to see how well they worked, and so on and so forth. Like, these things don't happen overnight, so it is a process, and it's basically you just learning your hair. Okay, so tip number 2 is to keep your hair moisturized. Keeping your hair moisturized is something you should do on a daily basis. For me, I would usually moisturize my hair with some type of product when I style it, and also I would follow through with some oil. And throughout the week, I would add oil to my fingers, and then I'll like run it through my scalp, you know, and even put it on my hair. The lock method, if you don't know what that is, it stands for leave-in or liquid. Oil and cream is a good way to also keep your hair moisturized. But there is another variation to the lock method, which is LCO, which I personally use because it works better for me and it keeps my hair moisturized throughout the whole week. And LCO is the same as the lock method, it's just in a different order. So it's the L is for liquid or a leave-in, and then the C is for the cream, and then the O is for the oil. So yeah, keep your hair moisturized, guys. Okay, so the third rule is to do not overdo it with the shampoo. Co-washing is fine. It cleanses your hair as well as add moisture. When you shampoo your hair, all you're doing is stripping the oils from your hair. It dries out your hair, and it's really not necessary. For me, I personally just shampoo either once a month or when it's needed. Other than that, I'm normally co-washing weekly. It cleanses my hair, it smells good, and I'm just good to go. Okay, so rule number 4 is protective styling. Some like weeks worth protective styling are flat twist outs, 2-strand twists, 3-strand twists, braid outs, what else, Bantu knots, flexi rods. There's just a whole variety of protective stylings, and I think it's very important to incorporate these protective styles into your routine because it just gives your hair a break from, you know, all the stress that it's being put through from any tight styles that you may do to your hair. And there are also you know, protective styles where you could keep in for months or maybe some weeks. It depends on you and how long you think you should keep them in, which are wigs. You can do box braids, or you know, the crochet braids, and you can even do sew-ins. But sew-ins in some cases can be tight, so it all depends on the person. You like sew-ins. I know some people who do like sew-ins. I personally used to get sew-ins myself, but I'm not doing that anymore. They really pull out my edges. They really too tight for my likings. Rule number 5 is to basically just minimize the amount of heat that you use and put on your hair. I know a lot of people like their hair straightened, but it's very good to either use a protective, a heat protective on your hair before you straighten it, or whatever the case may be, or maybe just minimize it, like minimize the amount of times that you straighten your hair a year or something like that. You know, there are those no heat challenges that I know a lot of people get involved in because they're so used to straightening their hair and putting heat on it, but putting heat on your hair can cause heat damage, which is not good at all. And for me, I personally don't like to wear my hair straightened. That's just really not my style. I mean, I do put heat on my hair when I blow dry it, but that's like not even that often. So I mean, I don't really have too much to worry about, but use as less heat as possible and you'll be alright. Okay, so I wanted to leave this video on a positive note with my last and final tip, which is rule number 6. Rule number 6. And rule number 6 is basically simple and straightforward. It's love your hair, okay? No matter the size, the shape, the length, the texture, the color. Just love the hair that you are blessed to have. Have you ever heard of the saying, love the hair you wear. Don't try and compare your hair to the next person you see rocking the style that you want, or the person that has the texture and the length that you wish to have. Not everyone's hair is the same, and you just have to accept it and be okay with that. You know, things like this don't happen overnight. Your time will come. You just have to be positive about it. And yeah, so I mean, that's just about it for all of my rules. So yeah, that was my hair journey and some useful and helpful tips that I wanted to share with all of my natural ladies out there. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already so you don't miss out on any more videos. But thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, beautiful.